Hi, everybody. Welcome to Decode REI. My name is Mina Rickey,
And I am Lidiya.
and today we are interviewing Alex Corpolongo, and and he is an engineer for a civil engineer by trade. What makes him really unique is that he's only 28 years old. He moved from New York to Florida to actually to pursue this business. He really just shares his story growing up. He had like a star childhood, and people didn't understand why was he living, and and he was really following his dreams. He was looking for that bigger, just a bigger way to live and to challenge himself.
Yes, I'm really impressed with his work ethics, actually, being a professional athlete and also being a civil engineer. So he has a very analytical mind, which I really appreciate and I love. And he developed so many strategies. His business, the way he does things, it just really impresses me.
Yeah, he went from going a little bit. Well, he took his time learning, but it sounds like he was learning, like spending a lot of time listening to podcasts and a lot of time reading. So he took his training and then he started to take action. However, it sounded like he was a little bit aggressive, but at the same time, he will pull back a little bit and then he kept going again until he got comfortable and said, "That's it. That is the property I'm going to buy. This is going to be the start of my career. And for many reasons, this is what I'm pursuing." Obviously, it seems that I have a better understanding of what's going on in this exact area, in this exact neighborhood, than what the seller or the broker are doing.
Yes, definitely. I love his story, how he shared about having a seller that would communicate only at midnight. Imagine having a full time job and staying awake to answer that seller because you're so determined to purchase the property. Mind blowing.
Yeah, his job was actually in as a project manager in construction at a hotel in downtown Tampa. So it's not like a light job. It's not like I don't want to diminish anybody's job, but it was like a job that will take all his attention, and then he will go home and get back. He will keep working on the multifamily project, and then have to wait until the owner will send him back the information and then respond. He said sometimes he wouldn't even sleep, so which is like wow.
Yeah, that's impressive. But you know what? What's even more impressive? He actually bought the property. He brought it to the finish line, and he put a lot of changes into the business model and brought more profit to the investors by doing add-on values.
What Lydia and I were talking about also about Alex is that when we see him in person, he doesn't come across as this passionate person. He's more laid back, kind of watching, observing, analyzing what's going on around him and who are these people around him. And but the Alex that we saw today, it was very passionate and very on point. He really came and just gave us his heart.
Yeah, we've seen a real Alex today that passionate about multifamily and passionate about what he does. I was really impressed with the fact that during COVID, he didn't spend time binge watching Netflix, how he mentioned, but he got his general contractor license. And now that's a pretty hard task to accomplish. And he was there with all the books, learn everything, and he passed it. So I think that's another side of Alex that honestly I didn't know. And that's a huge asset to all the investors because he can come in and he could definitely optimize that property to bring bigger profits.
Yeah, there was so much to ask him. Like I was, I was curious when he started talking about construction. I asked him, "Well, is it coming on the pipeline?" And he's like, "Well, that's certainly always a possibility because that is my background. That's what I understand." But obviously, he is so busy performing well with the portfolio he owns and then growing on the same direction. Once, see, in this any business really, when you have a proof of concept, when something is working, you can continue to develop it and grow it. So he has a proof of concept. He's got some great stories about going to research the property, and see what's going on with the property. Yeah, and people freaking out like, who's this guy? Why is he looking at the laundromat? So he's proving that concept. It works for him. So he's going to obviously continue to work on that.
Definitely. Yeah, I remember the story when he shared about going to the property and doing investigation before he bought it, which is kind of pretty smart because a lot of investors and owner operator that's out there buy, they don't even, you know, fly and see the property. They're like, "Oh, the numbers looks good. Let's do this. I'll send it to the property manager, do it." But he's really hands-on guy. He even has his brother who does the property management, and he still manages to grow his business and acquire more properties. And this is pretty impressive for me.
Yeah, Lydia and I were touched by the brother's story because we have siblings. Lydia, how many siblings do
Oh,
you have?
God, too many to count, but I love them all.
I have I don't have that many to count. It's three plus me, so it's four of us. And with them, of course, just like perhaps most siblings out there, we have a love hate relationship, of course. And but it we have tried to work together. We have worked together, and I am curious to see if this career that we're taking up on multifamily will be attractive enough. Actually, my siblings are in, most of them are in Mexico, and they are in the medical field and in the economy field. And I would love to prove them that this is a great business concept, because then you can put in some money in someone like Alex Corpolongo and allow him to acquire those properties and allow him to operate them. Obviously, he's talking about the systems and the people. So he's fully immersed in this world. He works daily on it. He puts his heart and soul in it. And not only that, he also brings his intelligence and his mentorships, and he's looking for what am I missing. So you put your money on somebody that is like him, and you know that your money is well taken care of. It's not the crypto, it's not the government, it's not the stock market that honestly who knows who's dealing with those cards. But yeah, I was very pleased to show this to my siblings, yeah, and to work with my family, absolutely.
Definitely, Mina. I tell you what, you mentioned about the siblings. So I come from a family of eight, and I am number three. And some of them are in construction business, and some of them kind of like real estate, but more on the building side. So I understand where you're coming from. But with Alex, with him working with his brother, I think it's definitely a value add, even in a team. And they seem like they've been working great together because they're succeeding, they're growing, and I really appreciate his approach.
Yeah, funny. Justin is his name, his brother's
Yeah.
name. My husband Ryan is actually starting to work with his brother Brady. They've done some things together, but now they are really coming together as a company. And it's nice because it's the yin and yang, like you and me. And
Mhm.
then having siblings, it's a different love because it's off limits. I mean, you can say anything and everything goes, and they are probably the hardest mirror to look at because they will be telling you back what you're doing wrong. And yeah, I mean that's very efficient way to communicate, I think.
Definitely. And like I said, one of the things that, like, if I would think of Alex, one thing or a few things that I would describe about Alex, I would say he's very efficient and very clever. He knows how to find these off the market property, how to pursue them, how to be diligently, following through, following back, and obtaining that property and closing that property, and then taking that property and maximizing the profit and also keeping the relationship with his residents, with his tenants. That's not an easy task in this particular field.
Yeah, I also get the sense that Alex is very light on his feet in his way of thinking. He's very light. I think like as the older we get, it's very easy for us to become dinosaurs in the way we think and we do things. It's just like really hard to change things and fix things, even though we know they are not working. But Alex seems to be just so light on his feet. Like, oh yeah, I'm ready to. If that's a better way to do it, I will look into it. If that makes sense more than what I'm doing, I will do that. Like he's not having that. Yeah, no, I don't think so. No, it's not that bad. He just doesn't have that attitude.
Yes, definitely. And I think that's an added value to him, and being young, but he's just being very smart and clever, and definitely pivoting with the market and looking for the gaps, trying to, add things to those gaps, and it's pretty
Mhm.
amazing.
Just one more thing. He says, I literally asked him the question of the crystal ball. He says, well, I definitely don't know what's coming. It's pretty much a very interesting times. But he answered it right on the point. He said, I'm still gonna be looking for that property that will allow me to keep growing. There's still going to be opportunities coming up,
Hmm.
and there's still going to be ways to add value. There is going to be people that will be losing some properties because they bought them too expensive and the properties just don't make sense. They just can't support themselves. So they are going to have to let it go. And hopefully, we're going to be there to catch them and pick them back up and let them keep rolling.
That's right. And that's a very good approach to have, especially now. I think everybody knows the market is shifting. So he's ready for that. And I think he's very excited to see where it will take him and more opportunities that will come his way.
And just to be transparent, that's why we're here too,
Yes.
because this is the moment that we need to be connecting with you, our audience. So when the opportunities come, we can work with each other, we can work together. There is already a relationship going. Speaking of, don't hesitate to contact us at
Yes.
Mina at Decode REI.
And Lydia, Decode REI.
We also have Facebook, Instagram, Decode REI, and always happy to connect. We can get on a call and get to know each other.
That's right. And like I said, if you have any questions for Alex, Alex was very generous with all of his contact information. Contact him as well. He is very open, simple guy, and he's ready to build relationships, networking. He mentioned that he's a king of networking, with everybody. He moved to Tampa and learned a whole bunch of stuff. So, if you're in the Tampa area or thinking to invest in Tampa area, contact Alex.
That's right. Thank you, everybody,
Thank you.
for joining us. God bless you.
God bless you.
See you on the next one.
See you next one.